What's up, family? I'm back. Today's topic, criticism. And when I touch on criticism, I want to talk about criticizing yourself, criticizing others, being criticized by others, and if it's constructive or if it's hurting. Alright? Criticism is a big thing, you know. It was one thing that I struggled with early in my life, dude. I always mistake criticism for people like not agreeing with me or not liking me or something like that. But as I got older, I started to realize criticism is something that we all need. Whether it's coming from ourselves, whether it's coming from our elders, whether it's coming from somebody in our same career path, criticism is something that's only going to build you into a better person. People don't like to hear criticism. I don't like to hear criticism first and foremost. Sometimes I'm like, man, okay, I get it. Like, I could do this better or I could do this. But I have to slow myself down sometimes. And I think majority of the population, we got to slow ourselves down as well when it comes to criticism. It's not something that you're like born being able to accept. But, you know, as we continue to learn, as I continue to learn, then we find these ways that we can deal with criticism, accept criticism, and move forward, right? Criticism, you know, coming from ourselves. Let's touch on that first. Criticism within yourself. It's needed. Criticism within yourself is needed to grow, to continue, to get better. But what we can't do, and what I struggle with oftentimes, is when I criticize myself, sometimes you can criticize yourself too hard. Just like, you know, how when you accept criticism from someone else, you kind of say like, yeah, well, I can accept criticism. It just depends on how they say it to me. Well, you have to do it like that with yourself too. Be careful of how you say stuff to yourself, because you're important and your criticism is very important in constructing the life that you want to live. But if you're over here knocking yourself and saying negative things when you criticize yourself, because there's a way to criticize yourself positively. And an example of that would be like, okay, I wrote this 3-page paper. You get it proofread, you get it back, you read it again. You can literally tell from writing your paper at nighttime you're a little tired to waking up in the morning being like, damn, I could have did better. Or, you know, like, hey, I could have made these corrections. Why didn't I think of that last night? That's constructive criticism, right? Negative criticism towards yourself would be you waking up, you looking at this paper and saying, oh, I suck at writing papers. I'm never going to turn this in. Why? I'm so stupid. Why didn't I get this right last night? So those are negative criticisms towards yourself, and we cannot have that. And that's only going to dig you into a deeper hole, right? You want to look more at the constructive criticism, the criticism where, okay, yeah, I did make a mistake last night, but what can I do right now to be better? Or I made this mistake last night, this morning I have a refresh of ideas. Let me jot those down in this paper instead. So, you know, that's just talking about a paper, but we can apply that to everyday life. We can apply that to relationships. We can, you know, you make a mistake in a relationship, and instead of saying I am unworthy of love or unworthy of a relationship, you can just say, okay, I made that mistake last time. Let me look at this. Let me evaluate that, and let me see what I can do better the next time. That's constructive criticism to yourself in 2 different ways. So others. Okay. And with me saying this, I don't want people taking away from this like, oh, like I can criticize you whenever I want to. It's needed. You know what I'm saying? No. Like some people take advantage of when some people say like, hey, you know, criticism is necessary. People take advantage of that. People are aggressive with that. People think that they can just tell you this, and this. No, that's not how this works, right? Usually, if you're criticizing somebody, it's because you've been in the same situation and you can offer advice and help. You're not downing that person because they made the choices that they did. You're not judging that piece of work based off of this person or who they are, and you're not letting any of that affect you criticizing this body of work, right? Like, some people think criticizing is just pointing out things that someone did wrong, whether that's in a body of work, a piece of art, or, something like that. That's not, criticism is not pointing out all the negatives of something or someone or a situation. That's not what criticism is. Criticism is, sitting down, it's being intelligent and actually dissecting and actually, developing, okay, here's what's wrong, let's see what's next. Like, there has to be a progressive in criticism. Other than that, then you're just downing someone and you're just being negative and you're just, being rude at that point. So if you offer criticism, that's one thing I want you guys to take away from this, whether it's with yourself or with others. If you're going to be criticizing, there has to be a positive outcome, or there has to be some type of work that you're working towards. And this is why you're criticizing. This is why you're saying it. A critic, they will tell you, okay, this is what I thought of this. These were the good things. These were the bad things. And then what someone should do, what a moviegoer should do. So, like, all these, it's funny because we got the internet now. We have all these blogs and we see, like, a lot of them criticizing. But all they're doing is saying negative stuff. That's truly not what criticizing is. And a lot of those news outlets and media outlets, like, they're not there to help the person get better. Literally. Like, we know they're just truly trying to down that person. So, that's not criticism. That's not constructive criticism. So when you criticize yourself and when you criticize others, we always want to make sure that there's a point of positivity following. Where can I go from here? What can I improve from here? Okay, now that I've looked at some of the things that I did bad, how can I do something better? Right? So criticism is important in our everyday life. Like we say, it's down to the little things that you do every single day. And, we are our biggest critics. Hopefully you are your biggest critic. You should be waking up every day and critiquing or criticizing what you did yesterday, but in a constructive way, right? It should be helping you, not hurting you. When we say down, like when you're downing someone with your criticism, you're hurting that person. But if you're constructively helping them move forward with that positive thing in mind that I discussed, then that's helping. And, that's just what I wanted to point out today. Criticism, it's inevitable. We have to go through it. We have to feel it. We have to understand it. But we have to know, with ourselves, first and foremost, negativity is not needed when criticizing. There's a way to say things. There's a way to go through things, And all we want to do, if we get better at accepting criticism, and we get better at criticizing or helping people through our criticism, then that's only going to make us a better person each day. Because like I said, the criticism is inevitable. How are we going to take that approach, and how are we going to use that approach to make us better each day? Because overall, that's what progression per day is. We're getting better each day. And if we got to criticize, we got to do it in the right way, and we got to use it to be helpful and not hurtful. I thank you guys for watching this video. Like, click, and subscribe. I appreciate every view that I give for this. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you.